G'day everybody, it's Mick here, and today we're getting to know Sammie Clenton. How are you, Sammie?
I'm good, yourself?
Good, good. We're here at lovely Wyong today. Hats off to David Jewell, the CEO. The place is looking amazing at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is.
So tell me, a Herons Creek girl growing up in the bush, what was that like? Surrounded by horses?
I grew up in a little town. I think there was like 12 houses in the whole street, so it was nice and quiet. It was good grounding though.
Were there horses on the property?
We had horses at home, yeah, we had plenty of them.
Yeah.
I think we had up to 20 at a time, so there was plenty of horses around.
So was that pony club and things like that growing up?
Pony club, mum and dad were involved in, I think, Western originally, and then as soon as my sister started riding, they got into showing and whatnot. So
Okay, so how did you get into the racing game?
my sister,
Yep.
she started riding track work for Wayne Wilkes and Bobby Murrell at Port Macquarie, and I used to tag along on a Saturday, and the Saturday progressed to a Friday, Saturday, and
Yep.
then it ended up every day. And
Snowballed.
Then I ended up with Tas Morton. So.
Well, talking about Port Macquarie, your first ride and your first winner was at Port Macquarie, I believe on the same horse?
Yeah, my first ride was on Twilight Courage. She was a maidener. She went around it, I think, on the 11th of February, and then I rode her again on the 21st of February where she won. She just happened to run into a real smart one, her first start, and she fell in the second start, realistically, and
Yep.
but yeah, she got the job done.
So you mentioned Tas Morton there. So Tas Morton, Tracy Bartley, Mark Quinn, great grounding riding for those guys at a young age.
Yeah, that's it. I started off with Tas. He was the first person I actually started officially riding track work for. I learned a lot there. And then I went out to Tracy Bartley out at Mudgee when he was still training out in the Central Districts, and that was good. Tracy trained a lot differently and trained off course, and it was a good eye-opener. The horses were a lot different out there than what they were trained on course. Went a lot harder on the track. I was still doing trials at the time, and then I moved back home, got a bit homesick being out there, moved back home. Tracy, funny enough, had horses over with Mark for the carnival, Grafton Carnival, and I went over, and while I was over there I hopped on a few and just stayed, and Mark was willing enough to sign me up, and that's where I started.
Awesome. And not long after that, Chris Lees in Newcastle gave you a loan and you moved to the Big Smoke in a way. Learning curve?
Yeah, when I went to I gave it away for a bit first, then I moved to Musbrook and started back up there, and then I went to Chris. When I went to Chris, he's been, fantastic. Obviously, he's such a big, strong provincial stable, and he's got such a strong metropolitan team as well. So he's been good to have behind me.
Well, you mentioned that time off and you came back in with Tim McIntosh in Muswellbrook. You hit a lot of success pretty quickly then too when you come back.
Yeah, I did. It took me a little bit to get going, but once I got going, it just snowballed. Obviously, I travelled a lot, rode a lot out in the Western Districts, where obviously you learn. It's a great place for kids to kick off, and riding out there, and then it obviously just progressed on. I come back over to the coast a bit more often, and the day Chris actually offered me to go to him, it was after Taree Cup when I rode a double that day, and he offered me to go there, and it took me a while to say yes. It took, I think, 3 months to say yes, but the spot was still there, and I've never looked back since.
Well, you moved to Newcastle, and all of a sudden you got the New South Wales Country Apprentice Apprenticeship. You won the Bill Wade Medal. You had the best best Newcastle strike rate for jockeys, and you also won the Newcastle Apprenticeship Premiership.
Yeah, it was
a lot to take in pretty quickly.
Yeah, I had a lot of success. Winning the Country Apprentice title was obviously an unbelievable feeling, and then to do it, I think I'd done it again 2 years later. Andy Atkins won it in the middle year, and the second time I'd done it, I was out of my time, which made it even more. But obviously, I have had a stable behind me like Chris Lees. It helps when they've got horses going to the country, but to win all them, the Bill Wade medal, even best strike rate at Newcastle, that was probably the best achievement I've ever had, having the best strike rate there. It's, especially when you had the likings of the metropolitan riders coming up and comparing yourself against them. It was really good, yeah.
And then not long after that, your first stakes winner in How Much Do You Love Me? Tell us about that.
No, that was good. Good association there with Con. He's always supported me through my apprenticeship, and to get on, a big fella, we got along well, me and the horse, and Con was great to stick with me. Had a tough run through the race, I still remember it. He was just too tough at the end of the day.
We're talking about support. Someone like Pat Webster, absolute legend in the industry. What's he done for apprenticeships and what for you as well?
Paddy Webster, he's an incredible person to have around, especially race days. If you have a bit of a down day or even second guess yourself in a race, just go and ask him, and he gives you the right guidance. He doesn't even tell you what you want to hear, which is what apprentices need. They need to be told the truth. But as for even when I've had downtimes, he's always been there. He is an inspiring person, that's for sure.
And who else do you look up to in the industry?
Obviously, look up to the likings of the the leading riders like James McDonald, Hugh Bowman. I'd love to be riding with them every Saturday. That is my original goal. But if I don't get there, so be it. But I'd quite gladly love to be there. And like the likings of Kathy, what she's done, Kathy and Winona, what they've done for the female riding ranks, it's incredible. So it's just all something.
And you're seeing a lot more young females coming through as well at the moment.
Yeah, that's it. There's a lot
and
more.
And we had a couple, 3 or 4 here today. Why?
There was I think 4 girls here today. And the more like the girls are having success, the more females are coming through. It's still harder for us, but it's still really good that we're getting more numbers.
Now, October 2016, you had a race fall in Scone. Did that turn you off racing, or was there still a fire in the belly there?
No, it never turned me off racing. Funny enough, my partner trains race horses, so I kind of didn't get away from it anyway. So, but I wouldn't do anything else.
Yep.
No matter what I did, it'd be something involved in racing. I've lived it and breathed it for a very long time now, so I'm not going to walk away from that.
Well,
easily.
You mentioned your partner Tim McIntosh. While you're off, you've had a baby. Motherhood, how's that treating you? That must be one of the greatest gifts of all.
Yeah, it definitely is the greatest gift of all. He's been very blessed with a very easy child. So scared.
So no sleepless nights, no hassles, no broken.
He's been so easy. So obviously he's getting close to 2 now, so that's when it's going to be testing.
Yeah,
but,
running around and touching everything. Yep.
But he's been wonderful so far.
Oh, that's great. So since you come back, just since the middle of March, 6 winners already. I wrote a couple down here. For example, you won the Wellington Cup on Goldstream at 20-1. Sensational ride coming from the back, a bit of a bumping duel. Then you jumped onto a provincial championship qualifier in Turnberry at 7-1-1. Then you had a Metro winner for Chris Lees and Milsian, which was an amazing front riding display again. And then just a couple of days ago, you had a winner for Jason Deemer on High Rush. Like, you must be pinching yourself at the moment.
Yeah, it's been great, obviously, to get the support that I have since I've been back. I couldn't be any more grateful for it, but it's I feel like I'm a lot more confident in myself than I was previously in my riding. And I think that's going to take me a lot further than it did before. I think a bit better now. So.
Well, even only after being back, say, a month and all those winners, people must be coming up now asking you for rides instead of you going to them. Are you finding that yet?
It's slowly starting to happen. At the moment, I've only been riding 57 up until this week, and I've just lowered it now. So obviously, in another week or 2, I'm hoping to lower it again. But
and you're happy to travel anywhere for a ride?
Happy to travel anywhere.
Make sure you ring her. And so what are your plans for the next 6 months, short term?
Short term, at the moment, I just want to get the ball rolling again and get back into the metropolitan area, especially while I've still got my claim. My initial goal is to try and outride my metropolitan claim. I'd love to do that if it's a big goal, and that's what we're looking forward to, but I just want to get myself...
You keep riding like that, I think you will.
Yeah, I'm hoping so.
And who should we be following in the next few months, you think?
Probably Milshawn. She's I know she only won a Mushbrook race, but she took the step up into the metropolitan area again. Good the other day, and she's, I think, off to Randwick again in another couple of weeks, so she'll be wonderful.
Excellent. Sammie, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Take care.